So for individuals who are in the early stages, you might want to increase the intensity of this workout by also adding a stability cushion that looks like this. Purchase one on Amazon. What this will do is this will increase the work in your abdominal wall. And so if you're in the early stages, you'll probably be fine to do this. And this is just a way to make sure you're also engaging the internal obliques, the TVA, the deepest layer of your core. But what I will say is when you put this stability disc on a chair, make sure your feet aren't dangling in the air. So for me, in this chair, I would need to put 2 yoga blocks under my feet. And I would have to do that for all exercises so that my feet are not hovering and I have that stability. Remember, your thighs, when you're seated, shouldn't be above the bony protrusions of your hips. They should be slightly below, and you want your ankles tracking under your knees and your feet solidly planted, perfectly parallel. Add this disc for any of the levels if you see fit. Okay, so we're going to begin with a chair psoas stretch. So you won't need any props. You're just going to sit in a supported lunge. Let's start with your dominant leg back. So you'll turn to the side, bringing one leg in front and one behind, reaching that leg back. So you're going to be sitting profile in the chair. One butt cheek on, and your front foot needs to be fully connected to the floor. So you can put a yoga block or book under it. Taking the outside arm up to lateral flexion. We're opening up the posturally tight hip flexors. And now when you come into this position, the low back goes into deep extension. So see if you can think about someone holding your pelvis and pulling it down towards the floor. And then at the same time, your inner thighs are pulling back to whatever's behind you. And your pelvic floor muscles are lifting in and up. So you feel this deep, deep lift. And as the pelvic floor lifts up, you'll notice the rib cage may push forward. So think about right below the chest, the bottom ribs pulling down towards your pelvis in opposition to the pelvic floor, closing off the front body. Keep breathing here. Inhale. On your exhale, see if you can go deeper into lateral flexion without losing that pelvis pulling down, without overextending the low back. Breathing into this nice, deep postural stretch. Try to widen the gap between the chin and the chest. The head may want to fall forward. Keep the head up on the spine and plug the shoulders down the back. On your next exhale, make your way to the other side, setting up for that supported hip flexor stretch in your chair. And while you're here, let's check in with the breath. So let's breathe laterally like an opera singer breathing into the rib cage. Inhale. Pull the belly in towards the spine. On your exhale, lift up on the muscles that stop your stream of pee and pull the inner thighs back to deepen the posture. On your inhale, ground your pelvis down into the chair like it's trying to pull from the chair all the way to the floor. You feel that deep grounding. And then if you feel a pull up near your rib cage, you may be pulling on your hip flexor, and it could be catching up near where it attaches all the way up in the rib cage area. So soften the rib cage down and pull the low abs in. And just breathe here. This is our opening stretch before we begin some strength work. 3 more inhales and exhales, deepening into the posture. And after you finish that, you're going to grab your loop band, your lightest loop band, and you're going to bring it around your wrists, sitting in your chair, making sure that your feet have full contact with the floor. Bring your legs together so that we engage the adductors of the legs. Sitting up tall with the loop band around the wrists, we're going to take the arms all the way overhead, plugging the shoulders down the back. Working on our shoulder stabilizers here and our breathing. We're going to inhale, brace the abs, and on the exhale, we're just going to pull out with both arms, engaging the upper back, watching out for shoulder elevation, keeping our shoulders down the back. Inhale laterally, brace your abs, exhale, pulse out. 2, 3, 4. Inhale, pause, no movement, pull the abs in, and exhale, pulse. 2, 3, 4. Again, inhale, brace, and exhale, pulse. 2, 3, 4. 2 more. Inhale, exhale, pulse. 2, 3, 4. And last one. Inhale and exhale, pulse. 2, 3, 4. Lower the arms for a second, and we're going to add torso rotation now. So you're going to inhale, prepare, exhale, twist and pulse. 2, 3, 4. Inhale, center, grounding the pelvis down towards the floor. Exhale, twisting. Let's start by twisting to your dominant side only. Give me 4 repetitions to your dominant side. Inhale, center, exhale, twist and pulse. 2, plugging the shoulders down, keeping that distance between the chin and the chest, widen that gap. Inhale, coming back to center, grounding the pelvis. Exhale, inner thighs pull back to the wall behind you so you're sitting up on the top of the sits bones. Good. And one more on this dominant side. And go immediately to your non-dominant side. Inhale, prepare, and exhale, twist. And make sure the focus of the eyes, even when you twist, is a little higher than eye level. Think about hands on your shoulder blades and bringing the front ribs towards those hands so we keep the front ribs closed, the collarbone wide. 3 more sets on that non-dominant side. Hear your breath. Inhale, prepare, exhale to twist. And if it's not comfortable to sit with the legs all the way together, sit with them hip distance apart. But if you can sit with them together and engage those adductors even more, that'd be great. Breathing. Give me 1 more set. And from here, we're going to set the band down. We'll use it in a second. But we're going to sit up tall with our hands on guard, fists right in front of the chest. You're going to inhale, and on your exhale, we're going to do cross punches, twisting from the torso, alternating sides, plugging the shoulders. Make sure the head goes along for the ride. If you want the inner thighs more engaged, keep the legs together, or you can bring a little anti-burst ball between the knees if you have one. Inhale, sitting up tall, only twist and punch on your exhale. Reset on the inhale, plugging the pelvis down, pulling the abs in, and then move on your exhale. And so it's a little dynamic, and you get to really use your breath, hear your breath. 2 more sets. Inhale and exhale, punch. 2, 3, 4. Inhale, exhale, punch. 2, 3, and 4. Grab your loop band, place it back around your wrists, and take your arms overhead. So with the arms overhead, this lightest loop band, plug the shoulders down. Inhale, exhale, bending towards your dominant side first, side bending over. Plug the shoulders down, hold it here. Inhale 1, breathe. Exhale 1, and inhale back up to center. Stay on that dominant side, bending, exhale. Hold, inhale 1, stay, exhale 1, and inhale back up to center. Continue with this breathing pattern. I'm going to give you some checkpoints to think about. So bring the legs together. On your inhale, really ground your pelvis. On your exhale, pull your core in. Close those front ribs. You can always turn your head down on the diagonal if the neck is straining, or you can keep it center with that apple distance between the chin and the chest. 1 more, and let's switch sides. So plugging those shoulders down, bending, getting a nice stretch under the lat, and also recruiting the external obliques. Make sure there's no twisting here in the rib cage, that you're completely focused on bending in your chest and everything is still square to the wall in front of you. Your head can turn down if it feels nice on those side neck muscles. Breathe here. 1 more. Inhale and exhale. Bring it back up to center. Set that band down. We're going to take our hands down by our sides. Palms are facing in. Breathe in. And on your exhale, you're going to do lateral flexion, alternating sides, engaging those external obliques, moving at a quicker tempo here. If you feel any grabbing in the rib cage, soften the ribs in towards the back body. Pull the pelvis in. Make sure your feet have full contact. The inner and outer edge, the toes and the heel are all pressing evenly. If you feel any neck tension, widen the gap between the chin and the chest and plug the shoulders down the spine. 1 more. Inhale and exhale. Good. Move back into your chair psoas stretch. This time we're going to take a little twisting. So make sure you're seated on it sideways. So you've got the side of the body by the top of the chair. And from here, we're going to take a little twisting towards the top of the chair with the torso, both hands on the top of the chair. Good. Grounding the front foot and the back foot. Imagine someone has your pelvis and they're pulling it towards the floor. Lift the pelvic floor up against that. Plug the shoulders down. And breathe here. Inhale. And exhale. Squeezing that back thigh to straighten the leg, but still pushing the pelvis down towards the floor. Pull the abs in. On your next exhale, make your way to the second side. Moving into that twist and hip flexor opener on the second side. We're going to do a lot of quadricep work because the quads atrophy a lot with ALS, and we want to build up that strength so that there's no injuries or falling. We're also going to do some flexibility for the flexors of the hands, the wrists, to help with grip strength and to release some of the tension in the hands. So plug those shoulders down your back. Let's get this nice stretch so we don't over-recruit the hip flexors when we're strengthening the quads. One more breath here. Inhale. Great job.